Hello users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All, the show where I mock Democrats and Republicans. Why? Because I'm a real person, and that's what real people do. There's a reason Congress has a 15% approval rating. So here we have Joseph Biden condemning the rioters and looters. Rioters and looters are burning down cities all across America. Rioters and looters. So meanwhile, while Donald Trump is saying, these are the Biden riots, law and order, re-elect me, extorting the American people, saying, I'm not going to do anything about the rioters and looters until you give me a second term. Why aren't you doing anything now, Trump? Why would we re-elect you when you haven't done anything for 3 months? Assuming we dislike the rioters and looters. The rioters and looters! Black people are running through the streets, rioting and looting! Let's see what Joe Biden has to say.
Protesting. Looting is not protesting. Setting fires is not protesting. None of this is protesting. It's lawlessness, plain and simple. And those who do it should be prosecuted. Violence will not bring change. It will only bring destruction. It's wrong in every way. It divides instead of unites. Destroys businesses, only hurts the working families that serve the community. It makes things worse across the board, not better. No, it's not what Dr. King or John Lewis taught.
Oh, it's not what Dr. King taught? Well, let's see what Dr. King has to say about riots, Joe Biden. It's not what Dr. King taught? Well, since you're such a student of history, let's actually see what Dr. King did teach.
I think America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. What is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last few years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. And so in a real sense, our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Not what Dr. King or John Lewis taught.